This is the Magicycle Cruiser Pro fat tire electric bike. And it's awesome, but there's definitely some things you're going to want to know about it before you buy. So in this Magicycle e-bike review, we're going to take it for a ride here along the beach in LA, and we'll do a variety of performance tests, including an acceleration test, a top speed test. We're going to do a hill test on a super steep hill, as well as a long gradual incline. And then we'll take it off-road in the sand by the beach and see how it does riding in loose pack sand. We're going to test the brakes, and we'll also see what kind of range we can get out of the battery. Along the way, I'll share my thoughts and experience and tell you the specs of this bike and how it stacks up and compares to the dozens of other electric bikes I've reviewed on this channel. So join me for a ride on the beach here and let's review the Magicycle Cruiser Pro. Out here on the beach bike path, we are about to take the Magicycle Cruiser Pro on a little test ride here, and I'll tell you guys my thoughts and experience with this bike along the way. So first things first, this bike is a beast of a bike. Oh yeah, dude. This bike is a freaking monster. This thing is just ripping through this sand, and I love these fat tire e-bikes. This one is particularly special because it is a 52 volt system. Every other e-bike I've reviewed on this channel, all these budget bikes have been 48 volt bikes so far. 52 volts really takes it up another notch in terms of delivering power. The motor on this bike is 750 watts continuous with 1,000 watts max output and 96 newton meters of torque with 7 levels of pedal assist. And it also has a massive 20 amp hour battery, giving it a total energy capacity of over 1,000 watt hours. Dude, this battery is the big boy. In general, from what I've experienced on this bike so far, this thing is a monster and by far the most powerful bike I've experienced so far on this channel. And I'll show you guys the results of the hill test. All right, going to take the Magicycle Cruiser Pro for a hill test. I have no doubt this thing will dominate this thing. So wide open throttle. Oh yeah, no problem. 96 newton meters of torque. This motor dominates this hill. Oh wow, it's like launching me forward. So a lot of the bikes I review have a very difficult time climbing that hill. It's gonna need some pedal assistance with 550 watts under full power. It can make it up the hill with the help of pedaling. They cannot do it without the assistance of me pedaling. However, Magicycle Cruiser Pro, absolutely no problem at all. The display on this bike is phenomenal. It shows you your battery life in terms of a percentage. So a lot of bikes, it just kind of gives you like a bar, and it's like you have 5 bars of power, and it's very vague on, you know, how much range you actually have left. Well, not only does this bike have a massive battery, but it also has like a really good indicator for that range as well to let you know more precisely how much range you're gonna have left. So another thing I really like about the display on this bike is it shows you your wattage output as well as your speed in miles per hour. So now what we're gonna do is basically just do a wide open throttle test here and see how quickly this bike can get up to max speed. Now this bike does cap out at about 20 to 22 miles per hour, and that's with the out of the box settings. So you could probably get in here and modify that top speed. So on this display, you actually can log in and change these top speed settings very easily. You just hold down the plus and minus and it pulls up this beautiful display. Normally on other e-bikes, this display is like way more complicated. Tap on the minus button, go to speed limit, log in there. So it's 20 out of the box, but you can easily increase this all the way up to. But I'm just gonna test this bike as is out of the box. So I'll go ahead and throw the metrics up here on the screen. Now I'm 6'5" and I weigh about 195 pounds. So if you weigh less than this, your acceleration will be quicker, but I'm just gonna open it wide open starting now. Good torque off the line. 10, 15, 22. And the hydraulic disc brakes bring us to a stop rather quickly. Okay guys, out here on a separate day, what I'm gonna do is a top speed run on the modified 28 mile per hour top speed. I'm just gonna put you guys down at the GPS speedometer and do twist throttle only and see what this bike can do. Starting from 0, here we go, full throttle. 28 according to this display. So it'll actually take us up to 27 according to the GPS, and it's still under like full power, giving me like 760 watts. So looking at that, I would say the top speed of this bike is basically right around 28. So this is a rather heavy bike, but the hydraulic disc brakes do a good job of bringing all that weight to a stop. I'll throw the metrics for how much it actually weighs up on the screen. I believe it's in the ballpark of about 80 pounds. And you can really feel that weight. So if you're like a very small person, you're probably not gonna be able to handle this bike quite as easily as individuals who are a little bit larger. Considering how much this bike does weigh, it can actually, it actually handles pretty well. I'm gonna go ahead and pop off in the sand here, see how it does. That's what I love about these fat tire bikes. They can just dominate. I mean, with all this torque, this thing has no problem going off in this sand, especially with these fat wide tires on this fat e-bike. And this isn't really the kind of bike you're gonna wanna really be jumping and stuff, but we can see what it'll do here. So that front suspension, it does isolate you from the landing a little bit, but I probably wouldn't be using this bike to, you know, be jumping jumps and that sort of thing. It just kind of has too much mass, and this is ultimately really kind of more of a cruiser style bike. One thing that I'm really liking about this bike right out of the box is it has a rack on here, so it's nice, you know, it's got the straps on there and it's ready to rock and roll for you out of the box. Let's touch on the different pedal assist modes now. So you can bump it on down to pedal assist 0 and the bike will not help you at all. Bumping it on to pedal assist 1, it immediately kicks in with that power and brings you up to about 10 miles per hour. Gears shift nicely on this. There are 7 gears and the ratios feel appropriate for a bike that goes about 20 to 22 miles per hour. So cruising along at about 11 miles an hour here, the bike's giving me 150 watts of additional help. And if I bump it on up to pedal assist 2, immediately I feel that power, that torque kick in. Bike brings me up to 13, 14 miles an hour. 15 miles an hour. Pedal assist 3, immediate boost in that power again, bringing us up to 17 miles an hour. So really just the first 3 pedal assist almost seems sufficient to bring me up to almost the max speed of the bike. It's giving me about 350 watts of power right now. And bump it on up to pedal assist 4. Boost of power again up to 19, 20 miles an hour. And I mean, we're on pedal assist 4 already going basically max speed. So 5 taps us on up to 21 immediately, 22. And at this point, I mean, going above pedal assist 7, it's not even really necessary, but when I start rotating those pedals, it immediately starts planting 900 watts of power down, so it's almost too much to even use out here on the bike path. But it is good passing power, and these big fat tires give me a lot of confidence in keeping this bike planted to the ground in an otherwise pretty slick surface with the sand on the bike path out here. So the big thick tires on this bike grip nicely. Little puddle right here. Fenders are protecting us from getting that splash up on us, which is always nice. So on pedal assist 7, this thing is really a rocket. Front suspension takes these bumps nicely as expected, and we'll see how this thing can do getting out on the sand. I have no doubts. Oh yeah, no problem. So we're just cruising on the Cruiser Pro by Magicycle. Yeah, this bike has a ton of torque. And I'm in gear 7. I'm gonna bump it down some gears here, down to 1. So really, these tires are all you need to pretty much ride on about any surface. Out here by the ocean, just kind of cruising along. We need to bump that pedal assist down to 1. I'm just gonna use the thumb throttle or the twist throttle. So this bike is just a couple $100 short of $2,000. So I mean, it's not a cheap bike. And yeah, it's not a cheap bike. Like there's some quality components on this thing, a lot of quality components. Hydraulic disc brakes from Tektro, big battery, over 1,000 watt hours of energy in that thing. So big range. So if you guys do like this bike and you would like to purchase this and help support Tail Happy TV, I do have a discount link below this video that would help you save money on your purchase, and that would also help support Tail Happy TV at the same time. So let's see how this thing can do through the sand, getting back, going up this hill. Oh yeah, dude, this bike is a freaking monster. No questions about it. This thing is just ripping through this sand. I have never had an e-bike with this much torque on these fat tires. No problem at all. And then on the boardwalk here, all the bumps are getting absorbed right up in that suspension, and fat tires set to 10 PSI. What a beast of a bike this the Magicycle Cruiser Pro is. I mean, I've been out here for 8.8 miles and the battery is showing 78% left still. We'll have to see how it holds up for the long haul. So I'm out here cruising around by the beach, and I'm thinking about some of the downsides of the Magicycle Cruiser Pro. I can think of a couple. I'd have to say the throttle response is not like instantaneous, so there is like a small delay. It's not a big deal, but watch if I rotate the throttle here. It's about a half second, probably less than a half second throttle response. Let me try it one more time, for example, here from like a very slow, actually, go ahead and just stop and then ready, go. All right, I mean, that really was not much of a lag at all. While cruising, there is like a small lag to it, so you can hear the motor kick in a little bit delayed. Probably about a quarter second delay. Really not much of a delay at all, but just not instantaneous. Another downside is the pedal assist modes. If you're looking for like a very gentle cruise, this is a powerful motor, 750 watt continuous, like 1,000 max. So when you have it on pedal assist, even if it's a low pedal assist mode, it will kind of just up and, you know, kind of launch on you pretty quickly. So, I mean, if you're looking for a very gentle takeoff, you might need to reprogram the controller. Not a huge deal, but I mean, if you're looking for a gentle cruising bike right out of the box, this one can be a little bit abrupt. But another thing you can do to kind of mitigate that is bump down the pedal assist. So I have it on like pedal assist 1 now. And if I start pedaling on pedal assist 1, oh, that dude's blazing by. Yeah, you put it on pedal assist 1 and it will give you a much more gentle takeoff. So you kind of just need to be careful. You don't want to start it on too high of a pedal assist. Like 1 isn't too abrupt, but I have rode bikes that are a little bit less abrupt than this. Man, this bike is just so quick though. I'm loving it. Another downside of this bike would probably be just the weight of it. I mean, it weighs pretty darn much for an electric bicycle. You're not going to find many e-bikes that weigh more than this Magicycle Cruiser Pro. I'll go ahead and do this ramp here on just throttle only because I know this bike can do it. Some bikes wouldn't be able to actually handle this pretty steep incline going to the California incline. And going up the California incline here, we'll see how it does on this long, steep incline. I know this bike's gonna have no problem at all, but we got it all the way cranked up, 900 watts of power. Just smoking this hill. I mean, dude, we're going, still accelerating 19 miles an hour under throttle only, 20 miles an hour throttle only. It's about to reach maximum speed of 21.2, still accelerating. 22 miles an hour. And yeah, just put out that 900 watts all the way up this hill. Just absolutely smoked it. To give you an idea of what kind of elevation we just climbed, we were just right down there by the beach, and this This bike just took us straight up here, absolutely no problem at all. And to touch on the stopping power of this bike, some of the older models did not come with the greatest brakes. This new and improved version of the Magicycle Cruiser Pro comes with hydraulic Tektro branded disc brakes. And as we can see here by the mineral oil, these are hydraulic disc brakes. And from my experience doing my stopping test out here by the beach, this bike has really good stopping power. So even though the bike does weigh a lot and it is a powerful electric bike, the Tektro disc brakes really control that speed and bring it to a stop quickly. Additionally, the brake levers feel really good to your hand as you're gripping them. So I'm rolling along here. I've done 20.4 miles. Battery is at 35% according to the indicator, and the bike still feels strong. On pedal assist 7, when I'm taking off, it still brings me up to top speed pretty darn quickly. So on my test ride with the Magicycle Cruiser, I was really using that twist throttle a lot, and I did a lot of really steep hill climbs on this bike. And I was also riding it pretty hard off-road in the sand, which is really hard on the battery. So with my experience on e-bikes and this battery being just over 1,000 watt hours and the bike weighs around 80 pounds, and the way that cadence sensor kicks in and delivers really strong power, I would say under normal riding conditions, if you're putting in a little bit of work on your own, I would realistically be able to get between 40 and 50 miles riding the Magicycle Cruiser. Now the official website does say you can get up to 80 miles of range on the Magicycle Cruiser Pro. I could see you getting this range, but you're going to have to be riding at slower speeds and putting in, a pretty good amount of work on your own. So yeah, you could stretch out the range to 80 miles, but I mean, who wants to be sitting on a bike for 80 miles on one charge anyway? Overall, the Magicycle Cruiser Pro is an awesome electric bike. I had an absolute blast riding this bike. It's super comfortable, it has great power, super long range with that big battery. And if you're on the fence deciding if this is the Fat Tire electric bike for you, I'd say go for it. Also, I do have a discount code below this video to help you save a little extra on your purchase. And if you did buy through that link, it would help support Tail Happy TV at no additional cost to you. There really are no significant downsides to this bike other than the price tag, but I do think the price tag justifies the value of the bike. So thanks for watching this e-bike review. If you're interested in other e-bike reviews, browse my channel for those as well. So I'll catch you in my next review.